Hi, welcome to my seminar on autonomous vehicle systems. So to begin with, I think it's wise to define what autonomy is. So Oxford Dictionaries describes it as the right or condition of self-government, freedom from external control or influence, and independence. It comes from the Greek autos meaning self and nomos meaning law. Moral autonomy is usually traced back to Kant's moral law, which means the ability to decide what is morally correct and act accordingly without simply following a set of external instructions. So what is autonomous vehicle technology? It's an independent vehicle with control of itself and without external supervising factors. It uses advanced artificial intelligence to help with decision making and uncertainty. It has similar or greater ability than a human brain and uses sensors such as LiDAR, cameras, infrared and GPS. So examples of autonomous vehicles. In video games, non-playable characters who free and roam around the environment run on artificial intelligence. Grand Theft Auto uses advanced traffic systems such as crossroads, intersections, freeways and tolls. These non-playable characters are able to change what they're doing if you interrupt them or if other non-playable characters get in their way. Sometimes errors do occur, as shown in this GIF. This is due to a low level of artificial intelligence compared to those needed by real autonomous vehicles, and there's also a rumour that they are programmed to be more irrational and impatient than those in real life. So another example is autopilot in planes. This was first developed in the early 1910s and was built around a gyroscope to help maintain balance whilst flying straight and level. It's a device that can be controlled by pilots to control rudders and elevators. So problems with the current system in road transport. First of all, pollution. Second of all, congestion and time. Third, cost. And fourth, public transport, which is supposed to be cheaper if everyone's using the same lot of transport, but in fact is expensive in some countries and can be bad for the environment if a lot of people aren't using one bus, for example. So overall efficiency of this is not so good. All of the above make road transport quite inefficient. I won't read the whole quote, it's on the handout I've given you, but in short it says, if 1,000 vehicles are travelling on a congested road at 10 miles per hour, the cost per driver is £2. If one more driver joined the road, he'd make the speed drop and the cost could go up to £2 and a penny. So the only cost is an extra penny per vehicle, but if that's 1 penny for all of the 1,000 people, that is £10 overall, which is the social cost of this one extra driver. So one thing you often hear is that there's more cars now than when I used to learn, is what you hear off people who are older, for example. So I wanted to know if this was true and if this had reduced public transport use due to there being more cars on the road. So we've got these two graphs here, licensed vehicles in Great Britain in millions and passenger journeys in Great Britain. As you can see, the top one generally shows constant increase of licensed vehicles on Britain's roads, and the bottom one shows a general trend in a drop of bus use outside of London and an increase in other methods. Neither of these are very accurate, so in order to gain a detailed information from these graphs, I had to add a chart system, a grid system, as you can see here, and in doing so I was able to extract the data a lot easier. I've also got two other pieces of information here. So with licensed cars in millions and number of cars on the road, that's just some further data to help solidify the point. So here's the graph I created. As you can see, licensed vehicles in millions has gone up since the 1950s quite gradually. Cars in millions has gone up from 2000s up to sort of the current day gradually as well. And licensed cars in millions, the other set of data has done the same thing. So they're all showing the same trend. Passenger journeys, on the other hand, was going down. It's only a short amount of data that I could find, sort of from the mid to late 80s until modern day. As you can see, it started going down, then roughly late 90s to around 2000 started going up again. So there is no correlation between the increase of car use and the decrease of public transport. This constant growth and increase of transport could be due to population growth and only highlights the amount of congestion that is on Britain's roads currently. So there's been some government initiatives to stop CO2 emissions and congestion. First one's to do with the M25. When it was first introduced, there was ideas of increasing the number of lanes and thinning them, and implementing a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit to fit more cars on the road. Another one was to create a one-way system where on alternating days all 6 lanes would go either clockwise or anti-clockwise. As you can see from this news article here, which you have in your handout, it says, there's a quote saying, "Villagers use the motorway to make shopping trips to Orpington. On some days this will be a journey of 2 miles, and on other days a journey of 117 miles. That's obviously not very efficient. On some days it might take them, for example, 5 minutes to get to the shopping area. Other days it could take them perhaps 3 hours. So further government initiatives, you've got the London congestion charging and low emission zone, which is cheaper for more fuel efficient cars. You've also got the Kuala Lumpur road pricing in the city centre, which is a scheme aimed at reducing the flow of private cars travelling into the city centre and to encourage people to use public transport. You also have the electronic road pricing system in Singapore, which is a machine that, when it was first introduced, was given to all vehicles other than bicycles, and the driver of the car or van or lorry, for example, would have to put their cash card into this machine, and every time they pass through one of the toll roads they'd take an automatic payment. Benefits of this were reduced traffic, people would consider other routes, it was a fair price, and the automatic payments meant it was easier for the drivers, and it also gives incentive to ride a bicycle, as it was the only method of transport that didn't need to use this. So how could autonomy help? Smooth the traffic flow. As you can see from this photo on the right, when all the cars are working individually, there's a lot of traffic build-up. When they all start to work in sync, it improves the flow of traffic. There's reduced pollution, as most of these autonomous vehicles run on electric and battery power, and less accidents due to human error, as this is the number one cause of road accidents. So, morals and issues surrounding this. There's problems with AI, including dangers to humans, the difficulty of ethical decision making due to a lack of conscience, and potential hacking. Germany introduced the world's first ethical guidelines in 2017, which was 15 rules that favour the preservation of human life and preventing human injury over other concerns. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology created the Moral Machine, which is a website where the general public can choose what they would do in certain situations, adding to a collection of data to produce a set of moral guidelines the industry can follow. So you can choose things, whether a car should run over an animal, for example, instead of a human, whether it should run over a man instead of a woman, and as the general public can take part in this, it creates a quite accurate display of what society wants. Further ways of getting around these issues, there have already been strict controlled testing on roads throughout the world, including Europe, America and the UK. This is to help the AI systems learn in a real environment. Japanese government plan on making rules and laws to prevent autonomous vehicle hacking, which is one big problem. Companies have started using NASA's rover technology to allow controlling of autonomous vehicles in unexpected circumstances. So, for example, if there was an accident on one side of the road and it blocked the whole side of the road, the only way for traffic to go around it was on the wrong side of the road. These autonomous vehicles might find that a bit bizarre and not necessarily want to do it because it's going against everything they've been programmed to do. So a human would be able to tell these vehicles, no, it's right, go on the wrong side of the road, and they would learn from that situation. There's also games to test artificial intelligence. So, for example, Ford are using video games to test how self-driving car systems react to a very quick, unpredictable humanoid running in the way of cars. They're using this to try and frustrate the system, and also so they know where they need to improve it. They've also created an app so other people can try it, which is helping the system learn as well. So other environments, you've got air. So drones, for example, are used for autonomous deliveries. Swarm technologies, potentially for use in emergencies such as fires and surveillance. Planes, as previously mentioned, they've had the technology for years. They can take off, fly and land on their own, but the main reason pilots are used is for passenger peace of mind. Another environment is sea. From this quote here, it says, "The oceans are relatively uncluttered and do not require highly complex navigation," which is the ultimate reason autonomous road vehicles aren't ubiquitous yet. There's more obstacles on the road to think about than there is in the sea. So one use is deep sea exploration for scientific research, and ocean cleaning. Pollution has hugely impacted the ocean, and this example product on the right, CVAX, is a semi-autonomous ocean cleaning machine. A whole ocean cleanup mission can be controlled from land with visuals and data streams. CVAX would operate using a fleet search program. Plastic collected could be ferried ashore on solar-powered barges, leaving the robot harvesters to sweep more or less continuously. A further use could be in shipping. As previously mentioned, in the middle of oceans there aren't many obstacles. The main need for a captain is when around docks. So there's not necessarily much urgency for the development of technology in this area. On the CVAX website, this is really important. So most websites will have a sort of legal section at the bottom to do with licensing and copywriting information, as there is here, but underneath that they've got their legal stance on the use of their product. In short, it says, "Under no circumstances may our products be used for any military or law enforcement organisation or government for any warlike, combat or peacekeeping purposes. Any person, organisation or government who wishes to buy or must sign a binding deed or contract." This highlights the controversy around robots and autonomous machinery misuse. This company have taken their own stand in order to combat it. So the House of Lords Science and Technology Committee created a paper called Connected on Autonomous Vehicles, the Future, and it emphasised that there's too much focus on road use of autonomous vehicles. The earliest benefits would be in marine and agriculture. To help connected autonomous vehicles development, the UK government should develop a robotics and autonomous systems leadership council. There must be more research on the social, personal, economical and ethical implications of autonomous vehicles, and the government must work with industry leaders and others to fully take advantage of the connected autonomous vehicle systems in other sectors, i.e. The government should view the technology within their policy goals, such as reduction in congestion and pollution, and use that as a reason to help with the development of it. So as mentioned there should be more focus on marine and agriculture. Now I've already looked at marine use, so now it's time to look at agriculture. Deepfield Connect here have said agricultural yields need to increase by roughly 3% a year to keep up with population growth, which is a huge amount. The question is, do these technologies already exist within agriculture? There's an example product here called Bonnie Rob. It's a robot developed by Bosch to autonomously identify and remove weeds from crop fields using lasers. The use of lasers means there's less need for herbicides, which is better for the environment and humans. It uses a huge library of photographs to identify plants. It's highly manoeuvrable and rugged due to its 4 independent wheel system and adaptable to different environments. The wireless sensor increases the share of marketable produce and therefore boosts farmers' incomes. The system also saves time and money as farmers need to visit their fields less frequency. Future use, it could have the ability to identify problems with crops and deal with them accordingly, i.e. if it finds one crop that's low on water, it could water that individually. So other examples within agriculture. In 2017, Harper Adams did the project Hands-Free Hectare, where they grew, nursed and harvested a whole hectare of barley completely autonomously using a range of equipment. And in similar systems, crop health can be assessed by taking pictures using special multispectral cameras which see more than the human eye. They can identify undernourished or diseased crops. GPS-equipped tractor can then precisely spray water, fertiliser or pesticides only where needed, increasing yields and reducing chemical runoff. One main use of autonomous vehicles within farming would be within developing countries. So developing countries currently struggle to advance due to time wasted doing manual jobs such as farming. So lack of free time means there's less time to relax and less chance of getting an education. Autonomous farming in developing countries would free up lots of time, meaning people could have more time to relax, but more importantly, more time to get an education, which would boost the economy and the country as a whole. There's a quote from The Economist which says, "A report published by the World Health Organization on November 16th suggests that almost a third of Africa's children, nearly 60 million of them, are stunted, and stunted children grow into adults unable to achieve their potential. Researchers at the World Bank reckon the effects of stunting have reduced Africa's GDP by 9 to 10% from what it would otherwise be. These better crop yields produced by autonomous farming vehicles would improve nutritional intake and reduce the stunting." So technology in developing countries. So there's some really basic things that have been proven to be incredibly useful within these developing countries. A study in Kenya found that farmers who were sent text messages with simple advice such as "remember to weed this week" increased their yields of sugarcane by 11%. A recent paper for the World Bank found that African firms using the internet are nearly 4 times as productive per employee as those who do not. But on the other hand, farmers can be resistant to change. Autonomous vehicle is quite far-fetched in terms of technology. The cost is incredibly high. Some places don't even have basic infrastructure such as developed phone systems. And there's an argument that robots are stealing jobs as well. So these are huge hurdles to overcome in order to convince people otherwise. So to conclude, autonomous vehicles have the capability to hugely affect the efficiency of environments mentioned, sea, land, and most importantly agriculture, in my opinion. The Gardner hype cycle shows autonomous vehicles as being towards the end of the peak of inflated expectations, moving towards a trough of disillusionment. And this could be due to the scare of the danger of artificial intelligence and the doubt of the capability of road autonomous vehicles. It estimates there's about 10 years until ubiquity, but that could be quicker. There's more focus on non-road use such as agriculture, and the general technological advances helping this are things such as LiDAR that is now able to work at a much further range than it used to be able to. Commercial leisure would be able to invest in this technology by using autonomous vehicles within sports events transport. So for example, people wanted to go see England play cricket somewhere, they would be able to, usually by having someone as a designated driver. They won't be able to drink, they usually don't enjoy the day quite as much as everyone else. But using autonomous vehicles, that wouldn't be an issue, as they wouldn't have to worry about who's driving or how they're getting home. Another way that they could invest would be by sponsoring agricultural companies, so the companies that make these autonomous vehicles for agricultural use. These farmers are going to have much more free time on their hands, and if Commercial Leisure sponsor them and offer, I don't know, let's say 30% off of a membership there, then the free time these farmers have, they might want to spend in a leisure centre, for example. So yeah, that's autonomous vehicle systems. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for your time.